So Danville has a new material. It's called Bulk EZ, and basically it's a nice adapting material like a flowable composite, but it's much more. So in this case, the mesial MO of this molar is very deep. I think we were measuring is about 7 millimeters deep down to the bottom of the box. And with this material, I can fill that box up and not have to worry about the light getting down there 7 millimeters. It'll self-cure, so I have unlimited depth of cure. If that box went up 10 millimeters or 12 millimeters, I wouldn't have to worry about it. As long as I can maintain the contours, we'd have a successful restoration. So here's a study that we did. And what we did is we took some extracted teeth and we cut class 2 preparations in these teeth. Here you see a molar. We did the toll etch technique, just following the directions for use of the composites that we were using. In this case, we're using phosphoric acid, the toll etch technique. We rinse that off, apply our primer adhesive, thin that out, light cure that, apply a Bulkfill composite. These were light cured Bulkfill composites. Then we took those extracted teeth and we thermal cycled them 5,000 times in a die to see how good of a bond we were getting. And what we did is we then classified that. And let me show you some of the results. So ideally what we'd see is we place a class 2 restoration in the tooth, we thermal cycle it and die, and we'd see no dye penetration anywhere, either on the occlusal or interproximally, because we had a good seal. So that would be the ideal right there. But what we saw with many of the light cured composites, because again, where the light is on the occlusal, that's where it's going to cure first, and then the material gets drawn up to that area. It gets pulled away from the gingival floor. And so what we saw was a lot of microleakage. So here's a side view of a molar where there was a class 2 placed in the tooth. It was cut in half after it was thermal cycled and dye. And you can see on the occlusal surface, you don't see a lot of dye penetration. So where the light was able to cure that material, we got a good seal. But down at the bottom of the box, we have a lot of dye sneaking up underneath there, and that dye is going underneath our restoration and following the tubules down into the pulp, and that's why our patients would feel sensitivity. So with the light cured Bulkfills, every one of the samples that we tried suffered from this microleakage. Whereas the self-cure composite materials, because it cures over time, material that we're talking about right now cures in about 90 seconds, it cures towards the tooth. And because it cures towards the tooth, it releases the stress, but we're assured of complete curing. So with the Danville's Bulk EZ, we filled it up, we thermal cycled it just the same as the other sample that I showed you before, cut that tooth in half, and we can see is there was no microleakage at the margins. And that's what we were striving for.